Hello and welcome to Q Today. I'm your host, Nate Bello. I'm just filling in for Mitch Vik, and he's going to be back the next show. So
Great.
It's been great to be with you, but I will go into the background and
and do your producer stuff.
Yeah, whatever that is, I will do it.
Great. Yeah. And I'm your other host, Allison Duddy. And how was your Easter weekend, Nate?
My Easter weekend was fantastic because my wife made Easter bread.
Oh,
and Easter bread is an Italian bread. She's not Italian, but she learned it from my mother, who learned it from her mother. And it's panna pascal, and you put egg. It's like a sweet bread. It's got sugary, not a lot of sugar, but it's got sugar in it, and it's got all these eggs around the top, you know, braided on top.
Really?
And you cut it off, and it's really fresh. And
so more like really a dessert bread, or like a breakfasty
like dessert bread, but you have it at breakfast. Yeah, you have it at breakfast on Easter Sunday morning. And that's what we did. It was delicious.
So that's tradition for you and your family, is it?
Tradition, yes, it is.
Cool. Yeah. Neat. Good.
How about you?
It was good. Quiet one, but it was a good Easter weekend.
Spring comes.
That's
Spring
right. The weather, we couldn't beat the weather this weekend, so it's kind of hard to find any fault. It was a good one, for sure.
Okay.
So, of course, we would just like to thank you for watching the Q Today show and remind you that our weekday show runs from Tuesday at 5 p.m. until Friday at 8 a.m. Our weekend show from Friday at 5 p.m. until Tuesday at 8 a.m. And, of course, we broadcast daily at 8 a.m., 5 p.m., and 10 p.m.
And you could reach us at Q Today at qcatv.ca. You could also watch us on qcatv.ca. And thanks as always to the Quesnel Caribou Observer. They supply most of our stories, although we're working on getting more of our own stories to put into the mix. Yep. And people can call us with their ideas and can talk about sponsorship too. And we've got some sponsorship working in the woods.
Yeah, you mentioned that last show when we were talking about QMag, and so good stuff. Okay, so we do just give the highlights here on Q Today. If you want to read the full story and get all the details, you can pick up your own copy of the Quesnel Caribou Observer.
And before you go any further, that's really a nice daffodil you've got there.
Oh, thank you.
And I was razzing you last time, and this morning when I came, I forgot to pick it up. So, see, there is such a thing as karma.
I think I was the one that was razzing you, actually, wasn't it? The other way around? Kind of hoping that you didn't wear yours so I could bug you, and now you didn't wear it, and I feel bad.
Well, I'll make sure Mitch has his on for our next show.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So moving on into the news, our first story. Last week, we had two members of the BC Lions, Angus Reid and quarterback Travis Lulay, who dropped into QJS to talk about violence against women. The program that brought them here is called Be More Than a Bystander, and it's an initiative by Ending Violence BC, or EVA BC, and the BC Lions, aimed at teaching kids to stand up against violence against women. Lulay said that for a long time it's been seen as a women's issue, but more men need to stand up and start speaking about the issue also. Reid and Lulay got involved in the program when they were approached by EVA to partner with the Lions. Reid said that when he heard about what EVA was all about, it was a no-brainer to get involved in the program, so that's great. Both Reid and Lulay told stories about their own lives, along with some surprising statistics about violence against women. And they noted that kids can often, and I liked this, they can often tune out adults with remarkable ease, and they hope that by them speaking up about it, that the kids will be more open to listening to what they have to say. And so far, they feel like they're making progress in the communities that they've gone to. So
well, that's fantastic. You know, that issue, it came to light, I think, in the 80s, and still, really, people think of it as a women's issue. Really, it's a societal issue. It's a man's issue, really. But I read a book just a little while ago by Margaret Mitchell, not the one Gone with the Wind. Okay. This is a different Margaret Mitchell. She was the MP for Vancouver riding, and she got up in the early 80s and said that, hey, there's so much violence happening against women in our society, and she got catcalls from some of the members of Parliament at that time, like it was a joke.
Speaking up about it.
It was a joke at that time.
Yeah.
And then she said it's no laughing matter. In fact, that's the name of her book, No Laughing Matter. It was an excellent book by somebody that was in the forefront of that. And it's great to see Travis and Angus coming out.
It is, and I mean, it is a big
end to
issue, and it's, I always say with any issue, get to the kids.
Yeah.
Get to the kids, and they'll grow up, you know, with a better understanding of some of these issues, and hopefully a more sympathetic, you know, outlook towards people in these situations. So with any issue, not just violence against women. So, yeah.
Okay, on another note, there's 2 new businesses, and you know, small businesses are the anchor in a community such as ours that are opening up. One is Q Brew, and Pam Devereaux, an old friend of mine, she wanted to change her lifestyle. So she said, I don't want the 9-to-5 kind of a life anymore. I want more flexibility, and she has become a co-owner of Q Brew, which is up on the Dragon Lake Hill. It took the place of Golden Ale U Brew. She is she's got a partner, and Tim Cavanaugh, and she's looking forward to revitalizing that business and making it Q Brew. And they've got different kind of names for their positions. She's the fermentation fairy. Then they have the director of operations, the quality control and taster. Now that would be a good job, the taster.
That'd be all right, John.
Yeah, and the Jedi Beer Master is one of the people that's working with them. And then they have one person called Let's Give the Job to Nikki. So, you know, anything they don't want to do. So she's looking, you know, she's looking to get into coolers, which is great. And I do a little bit of that, and it's a lot of fun to go out there and save 50% on your.
Well, it sounds like they have fun at their workplace, and that's always a good thing to have fun at work. So
that's right. And the second thing is the Shannon Cass, and she's opened up a place called Best Blinds, and she is opening up. Actually, it's out of her home, but she heard of Bright Blinds because she couldn't find the quality of kind of Venetian blinds or that she wanted in for her home. And she had worked in this kind of area before in terms of production, home production. I mean, log home building and that kind of a designer kind of a thing. So she said she called up Bright Blinds and said, "Hey, could I order from you?" And they said, "Hey, we don't have a representative in the North Caribou." So one thing led to another, and she is now have all kinds of blinds, Venetians, cordless, full wood, echo wood, pleated. You want it, she has it. She's working out of her home. Her phone number is 983-6748. Okay.
Great.
So
Always to see new businesses, for sure.
Right.
That's awesome. So we've got coming up in the last performance of the Quesnel Live Arts season, the Wilson and Schakta duo, who will perform April 13th at 7:30, and that will be at Chuck Mobley Theatre. This duo will be familiar to Quesnel Live Arts patrons as they are the key performers in 2 other music groups which have toured through Quesnel, and those groups are Van Django and Joe Trio. Cameron Wilson is currently a violinist in the National Broadcast Orchestra, and Budge Schakta recently composed, played, and recorded his first feature film soundtrack for the film Love and Other Dilemmas. But his work as a performer, producer, and composer can be found on numerous recordings as well as television and radio appearances. Wilson and Schakta are phenomenal songwriters and musicians who will be performing an entertaining mix of gypsy, jazz, Celtic, classical, and other music, Quesnel Live Arts President Michael Van Haan said. Adding, anyone who loves the violin and acoustic guitar will love these guys. So if you're interested in going, that again is April the 13th at 7:30 at Chuck Mobley Theatre. Tickets are $25 for adults, $21 for seniors and students, and they are available at Bo Peep Boutique, Quesnel Music, Save on Foods, C&R Video, and of course they'll also be available at the door. Sounds like a good one.
This Friday?
Yes.
Good. Excellent. Okay, there was a letter to the editor by Wayne Affleck, and it was in regard to Berta Vink's letters to the editor. And as our regular viewers will know, Bert is a regular guest when I have Nate in conversation with, and Bert's been there, and we talked about the substance of Wayne's. We didn't talk about Wayne's letter, but we talked about the things that Wayne was talking about. Wayne was saying that life is what you make it. Why do you stay here, Bert, if you find fault in everything? And you know, I just thought about that. I know Wayne too, and Wayne's a strong community member, and he has got lots of information to give us. You know, like I listen to Wayne when he talks. Respect his opinion. In this case, I got to say, Bert, yeah, he was down a little bit because he's 80 years old this year, and he works for positive change in our society, and sometimes you get down. It's only natural. But Bert also is part of Wendy Reed's too, and he's been doing a lot of positive things in our community. So don't feel too bad for him, Wayne. He's there. He's doing great things. He was the one who thought of going to Wildwood and with the Wendy Reeds and going to different places, you know. And he's got a great heart, Bert, and he does have a sense of humor. And just because you want to see social progress doesn't mean voicing it means you have to leave the country or the community. You can be positive and still say, hey, let's make things better. So Wayne, over to you.
Good point.
Okay.
Good one, Nate. So also in the Legion lines last week, Legion member Helen Boudreau highlighted some upcoming events that are going to be happening at the Legion, such as a dinner and dance this Saturday, the 14th. Doors open at 6 p.m. and dinner is at 6:30. April 29th in the hall, there will be a fundraiser for Arlene Lobster Camp. That'll be from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. May 5th is going to be a really busy day at the Legion. They're having a plant sale, bake sale, bottle drive, Canadian Tire money donations, a car wash, and various other ways of raising funds for the Legion. I'm sure they'll think of some more between now and then. And we've got the Legion Lifestyle Show coming up, and that'll be May 11th to 13th. They do still have booths available. If you're interested, you can contact the Legion office about that. Boudreau also added that they're working on recruiting new and reinstated members, and there are some great incentives for members to encourage family and friends to join. She also filled us in on some summer plans for the Legion. They're going to be working hard at Legion Beach, making lots of upgrades. And on July 29th, there are plans for a military vehicle convoy to visit the beach. And they're going to be keeping us updated on that in their Legion lines in the newspaper. Lots of upcoming events happening at the Legion, and we will keep you posted on those here at Q Today.
Yeah, and we've kind of made it a goal to get to the Legion Beach. It's a hidden treasure, really, in Quesnel. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And my son's kind of is coming back from Taiwan where he's teaching. We're thinking about having a little wedding reception there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it'd be a perfect place.
I used to go there lots and lots when I was a kid, but I haven't been there for years. So.
Okay, we'll put it on the list.
That's right.
Okay. Okay, what about Bob? This is about our MLA. He runs a column in the newspaper every once in a while, and I was looking through it and I thought, those are interesting things that should be getting out. One thing is that he and Vicki Huntington went up to the Sightsee Dam and the Peace River area recently. Who's Vicki Huntington? She's the other independent MLA, and I think Bob and Vicki have been working a bit together. See, they're both independents, and at what point do they become their own political party? I don't know. But anyway, they went there because, you know, Sightsee would be a big, big project, and the pros and cons are being debated in our province, as well as the rapid expansion of oil and gas has Bob concerned. So he did a blog on his experiences there, and if you're interested, you could look up Bob Simpson, MLA.ca, and it's a daily blog on his experiences when he was up there and his thoughts on that. He also is going to have on April 11th, that's the first night that we're airing this, a town hall meeting at the Senior Center. You could ask any questions. I think he's going to be talking about the Northern Pipeline issue for one thing, as well as seniors care and other anything that the taxpayer, the residents, the citizens want to bring up to him. One issue he also is I think it's really important that he's bringing this up, and that is that there will be a shortage of wood for our mills. You know, a couple years ago, we're talking about pine beetle epidemic. A lot of work was put into planning for it, but quite frankly, not all the money that was promised by senior governments came through, and I don't see the city government really talking about it as much as maybe they should. There is still Caribou-Chacombe Beetle Action Coalition, but you know what? It's still coming, and we don't want to be Chicken Little, but we do want to look at the facts. And Bob raised the fact that, hey, we might have a shortage of wood, a severe shortage of wood. What will it mean for our mills in the future? Well, if you want to go and talk about that, unless it's already happened, April 11th, or just drop by his constituency office. He wants to hear from you. Okay, Allison.
Thanks for that, Nate. Now, this next story is actually one that's a little bit close to my heart. It hasn't come out in the Observer yet. I believe it's coming out in this week's newspaper, but I kind of have an in because it relates to my sister.
Okay.
She has been missing her beloved kitty cat, OJ, since Monday the 2nd in the Johnston sub area off Johnston Avenue. He is an 8-year-old neutered male. He's got long orange and white blended hair. He has this really great lion's mane that he grows every winter. He really does look like a lion cat with his orange and white fur. He's got a white tip tail, and he also has a healed tear in his left ear. He is missed terribly by my sister, and if you have any information, good or bad, we realize people don't like to phone with bad information, but she really would just like to know you know, if you have any information on OJ. So you could call my sister Laura. Her home number is 250-992-2488. And you could also call the SPCA or get a hold of us here at Q Today if you have any information on missing cat OJ from the Johnston sub area.
People really do get attached to their pets, so it's not just like my house plant went missing or died.
I can relate to that. Like I have 3 dogs and 2 cats, and I can't imagine what it would be like to be missing one of them for over a week. They're like my kids.
Well,
so,
one time, yes, that's right.
You know,
one time
really
we lost our dog for 3 weeks, but we found it again, and it was fine. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, you know,
well, we're still keeping our fingers crossed. He's not the kind of cat that wanders too much. He usually stays fairly close to home, and that, of course, is part of the concerns because he's not one to take off for a few days
so
here and there.
Yes.
So, yeah. So if you have any information, get a hold of us.
Okay,
really
good.
Appreciate it.
And I think you know, it's great that you were able to do this. You know, and even though it's your sister.
Yeah.
And that tells people out there, if you want to volunteer, you can come in here and talk about your story. That's fine. That's what community TV is all about.
Have a little bit of an in that way.
Yeah, right.
Get the word out as fast as we can.
Right. And now let's move on to sports. Blue collar battles to tie Serenity in the Forestry League, and Fraser River outscores Bear. Now, last week I thought it was kind of over. I didn't really say that it's over, but they did say that Serenity won the 18th Lumber Cup. But that's just the regular season. So I got my microscope out and I read the paperback writer Steve Dodge's column, and you kind of have to have a few minutes to read Steve's. You gotta go through and get the blow by blow, and sometimes it's so compact in there that it's a little bit tricky. But it was an exciting game. I just had to take a little bit of time. Both games were exciting. He was back with an excellent recounting of the tie that Serenity and Blue Collar had, and Killer and Soupy scored for Serenity in the first period. Okay, but then Quicksilver demonstrated that the BC the Blue Collar wasn't dead. But then Soupy scored again, but Jack Jr., that's Jack Marsh's kid. His name is not Jack. Forgot his real name, but Jack Jr. is his nickname. And Quicksilver electrified the crowd. They scored again. Okay, what was the score?
Good question.
3-3. It was a tie.
Oh, wow.
Okay, good. And in the other game, it was a ping pong match at the beginning. The score bounced back and forth. It was 3-3 for a while. But then in the second period, Kangaroo, Crash, Big Bopper, Slim scored enough to keep the other team, Bear Electronics, at bay, even though the Bruins valiantly tried to come back, but they didn't. So there you go in the Forestry League. Congrats, thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Nate, for deciphering Steve's article for us. So moving along, also in sports, for the first time in its 29-year history, the Quesnel Gold Panners Hockey Club won their own tournament a couple of weekends ago. The tournament drew around 250 players spread over 24 teams, including teams from Vanderhoof, McBride, Burns Lake, Williams Lake, 100 Mile, and Prince George, and they competed in 4 different divisions in that tournament. It's the first time either team won their own tournament. Bill McMillan, who's president of the Gold Panners Hockey Club, said of the 2 Gold Panners teams who won their C and C+ divisions. In the B division, a local team came out on top as well. The Old Roos managed to take the honors in the top division. The 100 Mile Old Sports took the crown in the D division, and in the ladies division, the Kamloops Dirtbags took the top prize there. I thought, what a great name for a ladies hockey team. I don't know if that's sort of a
politically correct.
Well, if that
well, it's
says
not
something,
our name for them.
If that says something about the men that they're married to, or themselves, if it's the women's hockey team and they're the Kamloops Dirtbags, right?
Exactly.
So
that's right.
they're saying that the husband is the dirt and they're the bags, or
all right, I don't.
Anyways,
okay, that's enough. Okay.
So, anyways, moving along in that, they had a really good turnout. McMillan was saying that they got a couple of hundred people approximately per game, which is fantastic.
Yeah, great, yeah.
And they also had a banquet dinner that drew around 400 people. It featured a comical play from the hosting team, which, as I was reading the article, I thought, I think I would have liked to have seen that comical play. It might have been cute. They also had a prize raffle and other fundraising for local charities. All in all, they raised more than $2,400 for the Cancer Society and Quesnel Kids Sports. So overall, the Gold Panners were very happy with the event, and they would like to thank the volunteers, of course, who helped make things like this happen, and their sponsor as well. So congratulations to the Gold Panners, 2 teams that won the C and C+ division in their tournament a couple of weekends ago.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah. Photo of the day. Okay, Dave Sutton is back with us again, giving us some really neat photos. And this is of the model train convention that was just here at the curling rink. It was a big success. I think you said you drove by.
It was really busy when I drove by. The weather was great. There was people milling about outside. Yeah. It looked fantastic.
And just, I didn't get there, but it was Easter Sunday, so we had people over. And
you're too busy having your Easter bread.
That's right. But the pictures are fantastic. It looked like they really. I have. I actually have a train conductor's outfit from that time.
Really?
I donated it to the museum. When I was a mayor, I wore it, and it was given to me by the guy who was the last or second last train conductor on the old BCR before it closed down, before it shut down operations. Yeah, and it fit very well.
Yeah.
5'9", about 175 pounds. Just right. And so I saw one of these pictures has a guy in a nice
the conductor's suit,
a motorman suit. Yeah, same, pretty close.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was must have had a good time. So thanks, Dave.
You bet.
Yeah.
So Nate, do you know what time it is?
It's what time is it? It's time for the rodeo. No, the bluegrass.
The Country Bluegrass Jamboree.
That's
this is actually last year's program, but we've got the 15th annual Bluegrass Jamboree coming up April 19th to the 22nd. And Elaine Simpson came down and had a little chat with John, which we're going to be rolling to right now.
What is the event?
It's our Country Bluegrass Jamboree, and it starts on April 19th to the 22nd. And the doors open on Thursday at 1 p.m. Tickets advanced are $30 and $35 at the door, $10 a day, and you can get them at Circle Western or at the door on the Monday, the 16th.
What can people look forward to when they go to see some of these?
Well, the biggest event they're going to look forward to is seeing all their friends from last year, which I think is very important. You get to see some of the bands come back over the years. They get music from morning till night. Dancing, that's our big thing there, is everybody likes to dance. And all the bands, they come from way up in the north.
Tell me about some of the bands.
Okay, some of our bands that are coming from the north are Cabin Fever, Top Secret, JJ and the Country Kin, which everybody knows JJ, he's a card. Let Her Rip Country, they are an awesome, just a overall country band, very good. Living Country and many more. And then we have our local bands, of course, doing all their volunteer work for this, the Old Time Fiddlers, Den and Adam, Twin Rivers, Country Caliber, and Windy Reeds, and just a few of our locals that volunteer lots too. And of course our band will be in there the one day. That starts Thursday at 1 o'clock, doors open at 1. The first thing you can expect, right away the musical start, right within the half an hour. They have door prizes through the weekend. We got a silent auction, we give out gifts for that, and people sign up on that bid. We have a band scramble Friday night and Saturday night, which that's a lot of fun. You can just let your hair down, be yourself, and go in there, and we draw names out of a hat, and everybody gets to play with a different musician, a different band person. So that's really a lot of fun. You never know who you're going to play with, and you just get up and you do whatever, and it's a lot of fun. We have Shirley and Ken, they're doing the catering over the whole weekend, so you don't even have to cook. Friday and Saturday, pancake breakfast. They do the lunches, the dinners, just overall great food. You don't even have to go anywhere if you don't want to. Thanks to all of our sponsors that help us out. If it wasn't for our sponsors in Quesnel, like Fraser River, this is their 12th year of helping us, sponsoring us. There's Quesnel Music, Grace Inn, they give rooms for some of our bands, and Billy Barker Inn gives rooms, Travel Lodge gives rooms. And then we have our Legion and our Safeway and our Circle Western and just so many other ones, Eves, and they just all donate every year so we can have this. And the money that we make for this goes towards our fiddle players. We sponsor the kids with the fiddle. They go out to Gavin Lake every year and have a week or so out there learning and all that. So it's a good organization. It's a good, you know, we don't make a lot of money. We just keep going. It's a great event for Quesnel.
And moving along, we're going to have a quick look at what's happening locally with our community calendar.
Okay, that's it for the show. You can contact us. You can contact me, 992-3650, with any ideas that you have for our show, or if you'd like to be a guest, or you want to be a volunteer, you want to do sponsoring, anything, join our group. And you could also call John McKenzie at the station if you have ideas for any wonderful thing that's happening in our community, 992-8363.
All right, thanks, Nate. Remember, Q Today is produced by Q Mag, the Quesnel Media Access Group. As Nate said earlier, you can also watch us on the internet at on the Quesnel Community Access TV, and that email is qcatv.ca, and that is run by our colleague, Eddie D'Souza.
Okay, thanks for watching. Remember, our goal is to get Quesnel talking.
All right, bye for now.
Bye for now.